Hello everyone, this is David at Grow and Eat This. It's August 22nd, Sunday. We just had a little rain shower. The days here lately are in the 90s, going to stay in the 90s. And I'm a week late, maybe 2 weeks. Check it out. Here's what I got ready for the garden. There's 3 plants in here. There's nothing. I got some basil, 4 or 5 kinds of basil down here in the bottom. And that's it. Where's my fall garden? What happened? Is there going to be a fall garden? If there is, I've got to get busy. I've collected my seeds. I got that far. I got my lettuce seeds, cabbages, cauliflower, bok choy, some rainbow carrots, different kinds of carrots, Swiss chard, some onions, more lettuce, some beets. But these all need to be in here. I got to get this going now. Simple deal here. Lawrenceville, Georgia, Zone 7. Middle of February, when it is so cold, February and March, you plant your summer stuff inside. Middle of August, when it is so hot you can't breathe outside, you plant your fall and winter things. I'm a week, 10 days late, but I'm going to make up for it right now. And we're going to start with, this is the plain old Miracle Grow, Fairy Moore's, somebody's seed starting mix. I like the seed starting mix because it's very fine, and so many of our seeds going in for the fall garden are very small seeds, so I don't like them being tramped at all by big clumps of dirt and stuff. Into this I have mixed some azomite, which gives it a whole lot of trace minerals, and I put in some green sand. Now this stuff all by itself has pretty much 0 nutritional value, so once these seeds germinate I'll have to be giving them some fertilizer, but I'll do that with some liquid fertilizer. Now I know people on the YouTube videos are all saying, you know, put in your pots together, mix up your pots like this, and then put them in your trays and soak them from the bottom. In my experience, I don't have that kind of patience. It takes days for these things, if ever, to get wet all the way to the top. So what do? Naturally, I water them on the top too. Moves all the seeds around. Dumb. So what I find that works is, I know I'm going to use at least this much dirt. Let's get this dirt wet to start with. Little putty knife. This stuff has got so much peat and bark and whatnot in it that it is really hard to get it wet. It's not like the old days when you bought potting mix and it was like dirt. Now it's all these artificial things that that's why they tell you it's a mix, not a dirt or a soil. So I find doesn't really matter if it's too wet. I can add more of the potting mix. I just find it's easiest to get all this stuff wet to start with. It does take a fair piece of water to do it. Then it's easier to bottom water it, because if this is somewhat wet, it'll travel. The water will pull up through the dirt a lot easier if it's got a bit of a start. See, now we got something we can work with. course, I got a handful of this stuff too. But. So, we're going to start filling these. There's my little pan. Okay, and I'll be back when I get done getting these filled. Now, there are two of us, just Chris and me, and I just love to grow stuff. Boy, do I love to grow stuff. But one of the things we have to remember is there's just two of us, Chris and me. So the amount of things that I need to plant at any one time is limited. Now, one exception is Swiss chard. Why is that an exception? Well, biggest reason being is I can't eat Swiss chard. So that means there's one of us. But then I got to back out that this is a great ingredient that goes into the dog food that we make for the dog. Is one of his nutrients. He gets it not only in his food that gets cooked up, but he gets some in his breakfast in the mornings. Helps keep him regular, so to speak. So Swiss chard plants end up being something that get picked at almost every day for breakfast, a leaf or two. And then it gets hit really hard when we make up a batch of food. So Swiss chard ends up being something we grow more of because we grow it for the dog. You know, people are strange. We'll grow things just for the dog. So, there's Swiss chard. Let's see, it is all 6 slots. Okay, Swiss chard is done. Joy choy, our absolute favorite kind of bok choy. It's not as big on the stem, it's more on the greens. So we really go for this one. So here again, this is going to be one, because we can pick leaves, we can plant more of it because we don't harvest the plant, we pick the leaves. So it'll grow for a good little while. So we can easily go 6 of these. So I'm putting 2-3 seeds in each one, little square. And I'm only looking for 6 plants. So there's the joy choy done. I kind of mash and wiggle so the seeds get covered. There's the joy choy. Now let's pick us a couple of more. Now, cauliflower, we do love. Now, cabbage. Next on the list is cabbage. Now, last year I did stonehead cabbage. That made the best ball cabbage. You know, the hard ball. Never been able to grow that here before. Did it last year. Made phenomenal coleslaw, and then a variety of fried cabbage dishes that we get from this lady in Austria or Germany on YouTube. Boy, phenomenal stuff. So we're going to want to do the stonehead cabbage again, but we got that same problem. I don't want 20 cabbage plants. all at the same time. So in this case, we're going to plant, I open them at the bottom so I can still read the label at the top. So in this case, I'm going to put 2 seeds each. 1, 2, 1, 2, and I got 1, so that's 5. I'm only going to plant 3 cells. So that means in like 2 weeks, I got to put it on the calendar to restart them. Or once they get to be about an inch high, I'll know I can plant the other ones. Now, in that same group of kind of plants with a head cabbage is a Danish ball head cabbage from Seeds and Such. So I'm going to give it a try because they also said this was a nice head cabbage for making sauerkraut and coleslaw. So we're going to give it a try. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2 back in the envelope. So these are I'm sure somewhat different in their number of days or whatever, but that's going to give us a good representation of cabbage. And we'll start some more here in a couple of weeks, another 3 each. So there goes our cabbage. Now we're going to move in, same project with cauliflower. The snow crown cauliflower made heads for us last year. Loved it, loved it. So we're going to do that type again. These came from Territorial Seed. Been using these seeds for a while. This is all that's left. 1, 2. That one got 3. That one got 3. Okay. Couple of weeks, start new ones again. This is just a repetitious deal. The deal is to get them started. I've got a first freeze date in early November, and it's late August, so I got an X amount of time to get these things to happen. So you can cover them in plastic or whatever, but I don't want to have to be doing that with my very first plants. No, I want that down the road as I'm working them over the winter time. Okay, 3 each on 2 kinds of cauliflower. Now I need to make up my labels for my lettuce, and we'll start up again. Alright, next on our list, we move into the lettuces. Now, I do lettuces hydroponically inside, and I plant them outside, so we go through a lot of lettuce. And we eat an incredible amount of lettuce. The Grand Rapids leaf lettuce, gotta love it. Pick them up 4 for $1 at Dollar Tree. They work just as well as the ones that are $3 a pop, and you get lots of seed. So we're going with full 6-pack on the Grand Rapids lettuce. Another lettuce that works incredibly well for us is the Winter Density Romaine. It makes it 8-inch tall, but it doesn't get long and stringy. It stays beautifully formed. This is a phenomenal lettuce for us to be using both hydroponically and out in the garden. So we're going with a bunch of these. They're planted pretty thick, so I'll be sorting them out because I actually can use like 6 or 8 of these just for a hydroponic tub in addition to going outside. This will give me a bunch of plants to work with. I just have to dig them out with a pencil when they start germinating and make additional ones. So at this point we can still hold on to the space. Okay, so there's that. Here's another square. Great lettuce for outside here in Georgia or for hydroponics is a butter crunch. Another leaf lettuce. I don't have any luck with iceberg type lettuces, and frankly we don't like them anyway. Not a lot of nutrient value to an iceberg lettuce. Lettuce is kind of iffy anyway. So we're going to go with a 6-pack of these. These are Ferromours, which means I probably picked them up in a box store. Let's get these down. Okay, so we have all these guys planted. Who's left? Well, ones that don't really do well inside in pots to start with. Carrots. Beets I'll do a little differently. I've still got to do the beets, and somewhere in here I'll need to get the onions started. And then of course peas and some other outside things you can't do till you got to do them outside, and I don't have the space for them outside right now. We're still doing beans. So what I'm going to do is throw a rubber band around these guys because they're all done. Still have these other ones to get planted. Still have lots of room for starting things, which I will do, but I've got the lettuce, the cauliflower, the bok choy, the Swiss chard, and the cabbages started. That is the most important part of the stuff to get started immediately, because I need the lettuces in order to fill up my hydroponic container again, get it restarted. So we're off to a start finally. I'll put some water in here. Got plenty of room to add more here as we go along, probably some more lettuces. And we'll be on our way getting started for the fall garden. So if you're in Georgia or you're Zone 7, it's time to get these things started. This is David at Grow and Eat This. About a week behind, but better a week behind than not at all. Thank you for watching.